Good morning, everybody. I'm Noam. This is Monday, April 7th, 2025 on the Monday Mastermind. Today we're going to be going all over mindset, how to get your. Good morning, everybody. I'm Noam. This is Monday, April 7th, 2025 on the Monday Mastermind. Today we're going to be going all over mindset, how to get your mind right, how to wrap your mind around what we're doing, and how to go out there clear and with intention and pretty much get a lot more sales done a lot easier when you come out there with the right mindset. So that's what we're going to get into today. Some of the tricks that I use to get my mindset right in general, overall, as well as specifically day by day before I go to the doors, while I'm out the doors. After a really good door, after a really rough door, just all day. The most important thing is mindset. As soon as your mindset goes astray, your sales are going to go astray, right? When your mindset is 100% locked in, you're going to go out there and do all 7 doors in the entire cul-de-sac 100% closed, installed, right? So you got to get that mindset more than anything else. And yeah, you can't sit around for 6 months meditating until I have the perfect mindset. You got to just go do stuff. But on the other hand, if there's no attention to the mindset, if there's not any, working on the mindset, if there's not just an awareness that this is going to be affecting everything you do, then it's affecting your sales abilities and results negatively, whether you know it or not. Everyone can put more energy in the mindset, and no matter where you are now, if you continue to refine and upgrade and clean out and participate with yourself in the world of your inner mindset, you're going to make more sales. I guarantee you. So it's the most related thing to the amount of sales I make a day than anything else I do. Once you know what the product is and basically you have all the functions on your phone down and stuff like this, assuming you can do that, sales are going to be directly related to your mindset. They're also directly related to your skills, your ability to stay calm when they give you a really aggressive objection. And oh yeah, that's right, yeah, we do destroy most of the neighbors' yards, but for yours we'll spare you. And I do see you put in the new tulips, so we'll go around those. We'll just send the backhoes to the neighbors. Whatever. Make a joke of the guy's freaking out because he put in the new flower bed, but you have to have that composure. Is a big part of mindset, in my opinion. Inside turns into our composure at the door, right? So there's back in the ancient times, in the sagas, there's a guy named Bodhisattva, and the Bodhisattva, among other things, is famous for his ability to be non-reactive. So whether you run up to me and scream at me, or whether you run up to me and try to beat me up, or whether you run up to me and ask me where you can dump the $30 billion in gold you have in the truck over here for me, or whether you run up and just stand there and look at me, no matter what you do, it simply doesn't matter. My reaction is the same. It is nothing, right? And so the more we can train ourselves to be like the Bodhisattva at the door, the Bodhisattva. There's a beer called it Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva is a different thing. That's when you go around the service doing things. So Bodhisattva, look him up. Bodhi, B-O-D-H-I, Zafa, Z-A-F-A, Bodhisattva. It's kind of like the non-reactive one is essentially what I'm getting at here. And so you have customers going all over the place. Well, you're going to be able to sell even a customer who's extremely dramatic if you're able to stay composed, right? I always think of it like if you were a kindergarten teacher. My customers are the kindergartners. They're running around screaming. They wanted snacks 10 minutes ago. Now that they got the snacks, they don't like this kind of cookie today. When's recess? I got to pee. My desk hurts. My leg's itchy. They got all this crap and they just keep whining all day. But your job is to stand there and say, yes, you can go itch your leg now. Everyone else, we're going to keep learning the alphabet. D, E, F, right? And your pitch is the alphabet. You're going to go from A to Z. And no matter what they do, you can entertain them. You can get them a different cookie. You can tell them to go to the office and check in with the nurse. But the bottom line is you're going to give them the effing alphabet. And by the time they're done, they're going to know the alphabet. Now, if you go psycho because Susie's leg itches and spend 3 hours dealing with Susie and get all into Susie's leg, well, no one learns the alphabet in your whole class today, right? So our job is to not react, redirect, everything we know about objections, acknowledge, don't validate, bring them back, don't get side railed, and then keep going, okay? So, and I think I got Bryce here, so we're going to bring him in a second. But, it's that composure that keeps your sale together at the door, that allows them to trust you. The ability to have more composure, longer, gentler, comes from the mindset you're bringing. Bryce, we got you. Calm down.
Yeah, I love this training and I love the mindset thing. And I did a really good one with the team up here in Spokane last week. And I kind of want to just throw a couple things in there and then I got to fly.
Sure,
but it's crazy to me. Like, and this is reality. The reality is on a daily basis. Myself or Lucas probably get 50 to 60 text messages from reps, and it all can be controlled by mindset. They're self-solving things. So it's area concerns. Oh, this area is bad. Oh, somebody just knocked this area. Oh, there's a competing fiber company. Oh, the fiber company dug a hole in the yard. Like all of those things. At the end of the day, area is area. Houses are houses. People are people. If we go out there with the right expectations and we set the right expectations mentally and say, hey, I'm not the only door knocker in the world. I can't control the people that dug the holes. Like we let things that are external affect our internal, right? Like we affect the things that we cannot, the things that we can't control the most are the things that we let affect us the most. And that's crazy. And so you've got to flip a switch and you've got to focus on everything you can control from inside and broadcast outside when you're out on the door. So you can't control whether there's moisture that comes from the clouds. You can't control the temperature in the air. You can't control previous people. Like you can't control those things, so don't let them affect you. And it's the people that literally put a schedule together and a routine and work that schedule day in and day out that become incredibly successful in this industry. This industry is a cash cow. Door-to-door sales is a cash cow, and you can make a lot of money and you can change your life. But to do so, you have to be strict. You have to have the right mindset. Anybody can sell fiber. Let's be honest. There's 20 people on this call right now. Anybody can sell fiber. I mean, my 10-year-old could go sell fiber, right? All the difference between the people that are consistently throwing in 10 plus a day and the people that are struggling to get 2 a day, it has to do with mindset and it has to do with routine. And that's why I asked Noam to focus on this. Is like, I can tell you how to overcome an objection, or I can tell you about a product, and I can tell you about symmetrical speeds, and all of that's great. But if you're not doing it with the right attitude, it's not going to work. And if you're not doing it consistently either. And so, like, we were doing this training, and we were talking, Lucas was talking about like laws of averages and like how like Harvard, when they go to do like statistics and stuff, they need a minimum of 10,000 data samples to even start looking at it. And the point is like you guys can get really granular with your stuff and just set your right expectations. So you can go, if I knock X amount of doors, I'm going to get X amount of sales. X amount of sales is going to equate to this. So like the example we did in this training is like, say somebody has a goal of making $100,000 this year. Right? That's a really big goal, right? I mean, it's really not in this industry. Like anybody on this call can do it. I mean, I'm pretty sure anybody that was on this call that was at the leadership retreat agreed to 280. So, but the way to get to $100,000 isn't by focusing on $100,000. It's to get granular with it. And this is a mindset thing, right? You break it down and go from 100,000 to 8,400 a month to 2,100 a week to 420 a day, and just break it all the way down. Oh, I got to make $50 an hour. How do I make $50 an hour? Well, I need to sell X amount of accounts every couple hours. Okay, so to do that, how many doors do I need to knock on? I sell 1 out of 10 people I talk to. I sell 5 out of 10 people I talk to. I sell 10 out, whatever your number is, and figure it out. Well, let's just say it's 1 out of 10 people you talk to, and you need to knock on 50 doors to talk to 10 people. So you need to knock on 50 doors to get 1 sale by your averages, and that's what you need to fall in love with, and that's your mindset. Your mindset's not the 100,000. The mindset is I need to knock on 50 doors to accomplish my goal. Right? You got to take it away from the money, and you got to take away from it. You got to put it into the action. You got to have that mindset, and then you don't break from that mindset. You're working your hours no matter what, right? You can't expect full-time paychecks when you're working part-time. Like, it just doesn't work. You've got to be consistent with your time, and you don't break those habits, and then you're gonna get the rewards, and then you'll be able to take a couple months off at the end of summer or in summer or whenever you want to do it. Like if you go and you're consistent for 8 months, then you could take 4 months off. Like, but you've got to be consistent when you're on blitzes. In my eyes, I think it's absolutely ridiculous if anybody's sleeping past 8 o'clock on a blitz. Like, absolutely ridiculous. I personally am up, like this morning I woke up on my own at 4:36. No alarm clock. I don't wake up with an alarm clock anymore. I just wake up on my own, never later than 5:15. It's just my clock. I've set it because I created a routine. I have a couple hours in the morning where I have to myself. So when I wake up at 5, I actually take about 30 minutes to myself. Then I spend an hour dealing with East Coast stuff first thing in the morning. And then I take another hour to myself, and then I start my day. Like, wake up. There's nothing worse than rolling out of bed and like running out the door and trying to like be in the right mindset. Give yourself some time in the morning. Eat a breakfast, read, research, deal with issues from the day before, whatever it be. But have a clear mind going to the doors, not a groggy mind that just woke up. So again, some of this is like off topic, but it's all about your mindset, your routine. And like, I want to keep saying that because I think it's the most important part of this job. Selling the product's not hard. Not faster, more reliable internet for less cost. Like, come on, guys, the principle is not hard. What's hard is going and doing it consistently day in and day out, and understand what you're going to come across. Like, I know if I'm knocking in this area and my first day I get these objections, I'm not calling my manager saying that it's a horrible area. What I'm doing is going, okay, how am I going to get around that tomorrow? Right? I'm going to, so, oh man, I just knocked on 5 doors today that people said that there was someone here last week. You know how my pitch changes? My pitch changes is knock, knock, knock. Oh, hey, no. Yeah, my name Bryce. You've probably seen some of my coworkers out here the last couple of days. That's exactly why I'm out here, is because you're one of the few that didn't get put on the route, right? Now I've addressed it. It's not an objection anymore. I said that somebody was there the last couple of days, right? And so, or oh yeah, you have Spectrum. Yeah, a lot of your neighbors had Spectrum too. They're super happy with it. It's a great company. The couple things they would change are da 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 da. All of a sudden, I just overcame the fact that they're happy with something prior to them saying I'm happy with my service. So now that's not an objection anymore, right? Or hey, yeah, I found, in my time out here, I found that people don't really care who they pay for internet as long as they're getting the most reliable internet at the best price. Oh, you agree with that? Awesome. Now all of a sudden it's not a, oh, I hate TDS, because then I'll just say, oh, you just said you don't care, right? So it's like, the point is like, instead of going to the mindset of like an area is bad or the people are not receptive or this or that or competition, look at it as going, okay, we can spin these objections, we can overcome them before they become objection, and we have the right mindset of doing so. Like, don't play the victim mentality out there of like, oh, this area's bad, this area's bad. Like, it's happening a lot recently, and it's not that. It's literally like flipping it. Yeah, exactly, Dawson. Like, you overcome the objection by addressing it ahead of time and acknowledging what that objection is. You can find the commonalities. And so, like, again, it comes like have a solution mindset versus a reactive. I call it responsive. Be reactive or be responsive, not reactive. Like, reacting is your manager messing your peer. Oh, this area's tough. Oh, this sucks. Blah, 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 blah. And responding is going, okay, this is what it is, and this is what I'm going to do to overcome that. And like that's the key. And that's what separates like the dogs, like the dogs in this industry, the guys that just go rip, like they don't care if somebody knocked on that door 2 days before. They don't care if somebody's happy with their provider. They don't care if there was a whole dog in the street and the neighbor complained on a Facebook group. They just go knock doors and they freaking hammer it. And they have that mindset. And the other one is they have a routine. Our best, so if you guys have been on the all calls the last 3 weeks, the number 1 teams in the company, Trey's on this call, he manages one of them, Sparta, and then Ace, I don't think Spencer's on the call. But those 2 teams, what I can tell you is every day they're up early, every day they follow a routine, every day they do correlation at the same time, every day they're on the doors at the same time, and every day they get off the doors later than anyone else. And they have the highest numbers in the company. So success follows success, right? I'm not going to reinvent the wheel in a multi-billion dollar industry. So if I want to be successful, I'm going to go, oh shit, what's Trey doing? And what's his team doing? Or what's Spencer doing? And what's that team doing? And they have a routine. In fact, I'll tell you their schedule. Their schedule is gym at 7. If you don't go to the gym, you cook breakfast. Everybody has breakfast at 9. And then they do correlation at 10. They're out the door by 11. They stop at a gas station on the way to the doors. And they literally are on the doors by no later than 12. And they work till 8:39, 9:30 at times. And they don't stop for, oh, I need a lunch break. I need to go out to eat in the middle of the day. No, they pack a protein bar, they pack a water bottle, they pack a Camelback, and they're just out there grinding it. So anyway, I'm telling you, your mindset around that routine and your schedule is going to be the difference maker. We're going to continue to train on different things in this job because I think it's good to have as many tools as possible. But wrap your head around your brain first and the way that you're approaching it. And I think that you literally overnight will double or triple your production. So I rest my case. I got to fly. I got to jump on a call. I just wanted to say that real quick, and then I'm going to head back over to them. Love all you.
Thanks, Bryce. Thanks for coming down. Nice. So, all right. Love that, guys. Basically, I have some really nice stuff on my little notes here that's just super similar to what Bryce just said, but a little bit of a different slice. And I want to do like a little quick, 30-second activity to just get you thinking about some stuff here. But then, yeah, let's talk about this routine idea because I have that kind of broken down already. 100%. When I was going out there last year getting, 10 or 12 a day for sure, but, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 days of away, 20 to 24, 25 a day last year, and usually 4 to 6 hours only. This is not even in 9 hours. How do you do that every single freaking day? You have a routine. And to me, it's not even a routine. I'm going to go into, don't even have a routine, have a freaking ritual. This is beyond a routine. This is like a spiritual, mechanical series of events that when you do them before you go to the doors, you are going to close the doors. So you got to develop something for yourself until it works. And when it does, your way is the right way for you. But I can give you some tips on, getting you started. But 100%, if you wake up and you like scrap it together and you go to the doors, you cannot close as many doors as you can in that kind of scenario with that level of preparation. So if you're getting under 3, 4, 5 a day and you want to be getting over 5 a day to 10 a day, adding and changing, developing, making and sticking to a routine that is so locked in, it becomes a ritual where like, you're not even going to go, like I have a water pick. I will not knock doors unless I've water picked to total satisfaction. If my mouth doesn't feel super clean, I just don't sell as many doors. So even if I go to the doors 20 minutes later, but I water picked, by the time I get there and my mouth feels perfect because part of my ritual of what I do before I go to the doors and I feel sparkling amazing, like I'm probably gonna sell 3 more doors by the end of the day for the extra 10 minutes it took to water pick my teeth. So as stupid as that might sound to you, you may have something that you have to do that sounds as equally as dumb to me, but it doesn't matter if you do that and you sell more doors, figure that shit out and do it every single freaking day without question, right? So absolutely critical. Let's do a little exercise though. So if you were me, if you're not driving, close your eyes. If you're, if you are, just keep driving. But so Bryce just talked about like if your goal for the year is 100K or XYZ or whatever it is, then you're not committed to, your routine and your action steps are not like just thinking all day about I want 100K, I want 100K. You'll become the guy at the end of the year who thinks about how he wants 100K but never got it. If you simply break it down into I must close 3 deals a day and then go do it and forget about your 100K goal, you'll suddenly at the end of the year be the guy that made 180K without even bringing his head up and realize, oh, okay, I totally did it. So once you find the big goal, you kind of ignore that a little bit. Keep your eyes on the horizon. You don't forget it, but you're not just throwing Hail Marys at 100K all day. You just go sell 3 easy, simple deals one at a time a day, and you know it's going to get you there, right? You got to have the patience for those gradual margin of aggregation there, okay? But on the other hand, what I want to do now is go even bigger. So instead of just for the year, now what do I do today? Let's go for like 5, 10 years from now, and then what do I do this year? And that'll help even guide what do I do today, right? So this takes 20 seconds, 30 seconds, minute maybe. So just close your eyes if you can. Take a couple breaths. Then so what you want to do is just kind of like feel where you're at right now. You're on the chair you're sitting on, it's fuzzy or it's cold or whatever. And you can think about your life right now, and maybe you're on a blitz or you're in a grocery store right now or wherever you are, but think about where you actually like live at, and maybe it's back at your apartment or whatever, and where what are your favorite shoes you wear and what they look like when you look down at them, and whatever. Okay, so now just give yourself a second to consider that this fiber opportunity goes even better than you planned, and maybe it's 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now, whatever it takes, and you've totally attained whatever you feel like success means, like whatever you think would be the ultimate goal from this right now, like you've attained it, you might have even done it again from there, and so now here you are. So now look around you, and when you have enough cash in the bank, you're abundant. When you've met all the goals, if you're doing this for your family or someone else, you've been able to provide to them everything you wanted to, and it just still kept getting better. So now, where are you? Are you still living in the same apartment? Like, look around. Like, what does it look like? Are you on a plane? Are you on a boat? Are you in a cabin in the woods? Like, where are you at? Look at your shoes. Look at your feet. Look at your clothes. What are you wearing? What does the idea of success mean to you? Like, you're about to retire. Where are you? Are you in the Mediterranean looking at the waves crashing on the shore? Did you decide to move to Japan? And then who's there with you? You got your lady, you got some kids, you got your business partner right now, you got 5 more guys. And how does it feel more importantly? Is it like a nice temperature? Is the sun out? You got your sunglasses on, you're just kicking it. Like, what's the vibe, right? I know what mine is. So, whatever you just saw, the first thing that you are seeing, the first people you see, the first colors you see, that's probably the most true for you. Does that mean you need to end up there to have success in your life? Not at all. But knowing wherever you just took yourself, inside yourself, doesn't matter where it is, it's the right place for you. And so you can go from there backwards. Okay, well, if I want to be, for me, it's like I got my white linen pants on and I'm on my little sailboat parked out off a Pisa somewhere, and I'm just like having some shrimp cocktail and my champagne, no big deal. Maybe go pick up my guitar and strum a couple tunes while my girlfriend's like fishing off the bow for another red snapper or whatever. Like, whatever your version of that is, okay, like if you really want that to happen, are you willing to work for it every day and sell 3 deals? Or do you want to just dream about how cool it could be? And so taking that vision you just brought in for yourself, bring it down to like, okay, like if I want to be there in 5 years, like to me, it motivates me. Like, wake up, like, no, dude, like get your shit together and get out there and get this done. Like the difference between you now and you 5 years from now where you want to be is whether or not you're willing to go do it today, every day. And if I wait till tomorrow, it's never going to happen. Okay. So for me, that kind of motivates me, puts me into a little bit more of a mindset of like, okay, like if I want to get a fifth of the way there this year, like, let's go. Like, I better like get on it, right? What do I need to do every day? And then I break that down to the month and the week and the day and the moment. And it keeps me fueled in the moment, inspired that there's something greater than all this coming as long as I keep going, So I do that for myself all the time. I've been doing it for years and I continue to see the same thing. So if you weren't real clear on what you saw, I recommend like do that with yourself. Take 20 minutes and really allow whatever you think your level of success is to appear to yourself, because you need to be clear on where you're going if you want to really go there with any potency, right? So get clear on where you're going. It's kind of like your why. It's kind of like, why are you doing this and who are you doing this for? It's nearly or equally as important to know like where are you going, right? Because at a certain point, making more money is pointless. And this job is the exact same thing over and over again, thousands of times, which is very monotonous and can become absolutely mind-numbingly boring to say the same thing over and over again to a million people. But when you have a very strong pull that you're doing it for this reason, for these people, for this outcome, for this level of success, then none of that matters anymore. It doesn't matter what the conditions are. It doesn't matter what the pitch is. It doesn't matter if it's monotonous and repetitive. It doesn't matter if they just have a hole in their yard full of all the other reps they killed last week. Like, nothing matters, because you're just here to go towards that goal. It's a day away, it's a week away, it's a month, it's a year away. It's that 5-year plan where I'm on my sailboat. Like, I'm not selling you fiber internet. I'm getting on my sailboat. And you not having fiber internet is in the way of me today. So I have to get all these fucking people fiber internet because I want to get on my sailboat. And it's never going to happen unless all these guys get internet. That's a totally different way to look at what I'm doing out here than I'm here to get them internet. And if I get internet, then I get paid. And if I get paid, then I can get my boat. I'm here to get on my boat. So you all need to get the internet. So let's go. That is more my attitude when I get out there. And when you come out knowing where you're going, and this is the vehicle right now, how you're getting there, the whole part about fiber internet and all this other stuff is less important, because remember, your body language and how you say it is going to sell the whole deal. 10% maybe of the deal is the information, right? We got to remember that everybody we go to pretty much has been mailed the information from the company multiple times, and they're generally not buying the internet on the information at all, because they would have done that because they know the information. So they're buying it because they like us. They're buying it because we can make them feel that this is the choice and now is the time, right? And yeah, they buy it a little bit for the information, but if it was truly based on that and they could just look at the information and make a decision, they would have done it. We wouldn't have been knocking on the door. Okay. So when you have more emotion because you're more passionate, because you're going towards what you're going towards, that brings the passion into the conversation with the customer, and that is going to engage them on levels beyond just verbal. That is going to result in getting their passion going. And whether their passion is for better internet for less price, or their passion is to get away from the company they don't like that's too high of a price, doesn't matter. They all lead to you made a sale. So
hey, no,
yeah, come on.
Wanted to pick your brain on this, but out of all the objections you could get, especially in a heavily saturated area where it's just been knocked down to its last bone, have you heard of the sink the ship method?
Well, I haven't heard that called that, but tell me what it is. Maybe I know about it by the name.
So it's a way to bring that passion and make the customer feel validated by getting more upset than they do. So let me give an example. Oh my gosh, you guys were just here last week. Do you guys ever stop? We were just here last week. Do you remember the dude's name? It's like, what happened?
And then suddenly they just start popping off. They're just emptying everything out. They're pretty much yelling at you, and you just sit there, and that's when you keep your composure, let them yell at you. And by the end of it, they're so drained that they're no longer mad, they're vulnerable. And that's when you hit them with, man, I would have been pissed. Did you guys, or, in this case, I would have been like, man, I probably wouldn't have wanted to sign up with us either. I'm so sorry that happened. I mean, what I'm doing out here is actually a little bit different. That's actually why I was stopping by, and then just kind of lead them into the sell, because I did this a lot in Vexus, because Vexus is notorious for screwing up people's property when they're ending their lines. So I'd be like, what? You know what I mean? I'd be like, man, I would have been pissed. I would have canceled too, because in Vexus you sign up formal customers. And it's like a really big thing that they do. Their accounts will be marked F for formal. So I got to the point where I would only be signing up formals for the most part to get them back hyped up for Vexus again. And how I do that more mad than they did initially. And then they would get mad too. They would throw up everything on me, and at the end of it, I'd be like, man, I don't blame you guys for being upset. I would have been annoyed. I would have been frustrated. And then by the end of it, you have that rapport, and that's when I say, look, guys, obviously the company wanted to send me out here if I didn't have some kind of deal. What I am doing here today is a little bit different. So obviously I'll share it with you. What you guys choose to do with the information I give you is up to you. But at the end of the day, I think most people could agree that it's a tough world out there, and in a tough world, saving money is always key. So I'll kind of poke at them like that, right? But have you ever heard of that method? Do you ever use that method? Because that's something I have been trying to teach my guys. Because the way I look at doors is I'm playing a character. I look at it like acting. If you had an actor a script and you just, read the scripts the way that we read a book, it wouldn't sound that natural. But when you're actually believing in that part and committing to that part, it makes you a lot more credible at the end of the day as a professional.
100%. I love this game. Yeah. And I mean, everything he said, the composure and being professional. Like if you start losing it or react to the customer, you completely lost all your professional credibility now. Now you're like a dude who can't handle himself at the door, and they're just like, go away. When there's about to be a serious problem, or there is a serious problem happening at the door, that the customer is pissed and aggro about all the other dudes or all the yard work, blah, 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 blah. When you can stand there and at least hold your composure and just say, yeah, wow, that must have been really tough. That's great. And yes, Kate and I'm all about it. I mean, if you show up and say, hey, I know they had a whole bunch of sales guys down here the last 2 weeks just totally driving you crazy. Anyway, I'm actually the root coordinator, so there won't be any more of those guys. They just have everybody go ahead and get on the map, once and for all or whatever. You take that approach, you bring up the main objection, and I definitely try to throw everybody who came before me under the bus a little bit. And that's why, and I'll just start with, I know there's been a bunch of these really annoying sales guys out here. I saw there was like a pest guy over here. Anyway, just letting you know, I'm not selling anything today. I'm actually the root coordinator for the utility down here for the fiber. They don't want to send any more of those guys by, so they did just send me over to make sure you guys do get on the map this week. That way, you don't have to be bothered with any of that in the future. We'll go ahead and get you hooked up or some kind of rap like that, exactly. But
even having fun with it is huge. Like I can't tell you how many customers I've had answer the door with some smirk. Like they're clearly annoyed. I'd be like, they'd be like, I know they have a story already. I'm fully expecting it. You know what I mean? I feel like that stuff goes a long way. Like the more serious you take them, the less serious they take you, essentially.
100%. Yeah, the more serious they get, the more comical you can get. And what you said is what I was saying before. It's the same thing. Is let them just dump everything. Let them go off on you. They really are. Blah, 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 blah. Cool. Maybe the boat is off, dude. Yeah, awesome. Cool. That's great. Yeah. I would be so pissed too. Yeah. The world ended. Wow. Whatever they say, you just let them keep going, and eventually they're done. And they've expected you to go crazy on them and try to sell on the internet so they can kick you out. And all you've done is be like, wow, yeah, I would have felt the same. Man, that's rough. Dude, I would have been pissed. Like, surprised he didn't even cancel us. No. Now all of a sudden they're like, what's wrong with this guy? Like, he's not even, there's no more plays they have. When they get to the end of their complaints, they're out of plays. Their cards have been played. And now exactly right what Caden said. They're not complaining, they're not aggressive, they're vulnerable, and they have nothing left. And so now they're there. All their problems have been expressed, or a lot of them. And everything still is pointing towards let's sign you up for internet today.
Yeah, they unloaded their whole clip on you, and you pull out your full clip.
Exactly. Yeah, they've already unloaded like all their ammo and you haven't even started shooting yet. Right. So I think that's 100% what to do in that scenario. That's exactly what I would do. Yeah. And then the composure piece is how long can you listen to people complain and have no reaction? Hopefully a freaking really long time. So yeah, I love it. Yeah, thanks, Katie. Let me take a look here at my notes and just see what else we kind of got, like a couple of things here. I'm just gonna kind of give you guys a couple like one-liner topics that I thought of. Like we could probably talk about each one for 20 minutes, but let's not for now. But things that I put on my little notes here today as far as mindset goes. Generally this all comes down to what Bryce always says, things we can control and things we can't control, and how we deal with both. And then staying gratitude, in the energy of gratitude always helps. If you try to get greedy or you try to get angry, you're not gonna sell any doors. But when you're in gratitude and you approach every doors, though, I've already made too much money today. I really don't care if I sell your door at all. I'm here to just help you or not. If you can't see how faster, cheaper, better internet is gonna help you, well, look up some therapists in the phone book, but I'm out of here, bro, because I got people that want internet across the street, So, on that note, some little things I have is like, Carlos asked the other week, I think, for somebody like, how do you deal with someone that's really intense at the door? Part of my mindset when I'm door to door, when I'm on the door to door is sidewalk to sidewalk. When I cross the threshold of the sidewalk onto the property, now all of my attention and thought is on the house I'm about to knock. I'm checking the sales rabbit number against the number on the house. I'm looking at the cars. I'm putting my notes. My phone's obviously on do not disturb this whole time. But my 100% of my attention and thought process is on this door. Whether I've signed them up on a 5 gig or they pull a shotgun in my face, it doesn't matter. As soon as I go out of their driveway and cross the sidewalk into the next deal, by the time I hit their sidewalk, I'm done. I never think about them again. Their house could evaporate in front of my eyes, and I don't care because now I'm on to the next house. So whether it was amazing, I don't celebrate. Whether it was terrible, I don't whine. I'm exactly the same no matter what they did. I cross the sidewalk and I go to the next house and I do it again. Sidewalk to sidewalk. And I only worry about one house at a time. I don't need 300 houses in my neighborhood. I really only need about 15 a day for me to go get 10 a day, because almost everybody I talk to is going to sign up, because when you do what we do, there's no other option but to sign up unless they just absolutely are completely, literally unable to think, or they're just super rude, or they have something insane going on. But you should be able to start getting like 7 out of 10 people who actually are qualified to sign up. When you can combine all these methods with the mindset that I'm signing every single person I talk to up, unless they have like a literal thinking problem. There would be no reason to not sign every person I talk to today up. So, and then it's like, well, God help them if they don't, but I don't know what to say. Okay. So, going out there with that kind of energy. And then I talked, we didn't go super deep into it. We don't have to, but just, I gave you a couple of things, but your morning routine, you've got to make it a ritual. You've got to do the same thing every single day. Whenever I see Trey on this call, he's at his desk with the same thing at the same vibe at the same time. When you get your routine into a ritual, it is going to up the amount of sales you can make a day, because it's also that many less things to think about a day. You know exactly what you're going to do because you've got a routine, a ritualized routine. And also by the time you get out on the doors, you've spent less energy because you know what you do, and you develop a muscle memory. Even in selling, like my body knows I wake up, I do 2 cups of coffee, I go to the bathroom, I take a shower, I do 40 minutes of yoga, I beat on my chest and growl for 10 minutes and tap my whole body, which is part of my thing. I get all my blood flowing and warmed up, and my voice is warmed up. So I'm never going to the door with my voice not warmed up. I eat a quick snack, I make another coffee, I get in the car, and then I say, hey, hey. Sorry to be a bother. 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 Hey, sorry to be a bother. 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 Hey, sorry to be a bother. Hey, sorry to be a bother. I say sorry to be a bother in every inflection possible for like 5 minutes on the way to the door. And if you're in a group of guy card, in a car, do it anyway, or go find a tree at the edge of the neighborhood, do it before you knock your first door. And I say, hey, I'm out on fiber optic utility, fiber optic utility, fiber optic utility. I never hit any door for any day ever until I've had all that crap come out of my mouth about 50 times each. So that by the time I get to the first door of the day, hey, what's up? Sorry to be a bother. Yeah, so I'm out here on the fiber optic utility for Vexus. Not sure what you know about it. We put in the main line for the internet breakdown in the neighborhood for all you guys last year, right? Okay. It's just flowing out of my mouth because my body knows that when I brush my teeth, I have 2 cups of coffee, I go to the bathroom, I do yoga, I take a shower, I pound my chest, I drive to the thing, I say that all those phrases 50 times, and when I go to the field, my muscle memory is I sell 15 a day and I go home and have a beer. So what does my body, what does my mind, what does my spirit just do? It sells 15 a day, I go home and have a beer. Now, if I just go to the field all haphazard and didn't do my routine, my body doesn't know that that's the form where I go out and sell 15 in a day, so I go sell 3, and then I go home and have a beer. And I don't wonder why did I sell 3 days because I didn't do any of the stuff that I would normally do to get ready to go sell 15, right?
Hey, no, can I add something?
Baseball players don't go out without their socks on, or like only one cleat, right? You gotta have all your shit in order if you want to be the MLB or whatever, right? The VIP. Yeah, go for it, Trey.
So I know we got some smart asses on this call that'll probably be like, well, yeah, my routine is I wake up 5 minutes before we leave for the area, right? And that's not a routine. I guess I want to make sure when we talk about routine, do something, right? Like just have to do something to get your mind working. I saw this. They were talking about Steph Curry I saw this thing on Instagram, but they were saying how, oh, it's so crazy these shots he makes. And Steph Curry is known for whether it's a game day or a day off, whatever. He has this commitment where he makes 500 shots every single day. And so they're like, the reason he can make a shot and turn around and know the ball's already going in is because he's made that shot thousands of times throughout the week before the game. And there's a quote that I learned years ago that said, champions aren't made in the ring, they're merely recognized in the ring, right? You think like a boxer or a UFC champion, usually the better prepared fighter is going to be exposed. The weaker or the less prepared fighter is going to be exposed as well. And so sometimes we're like, oh, I'll figure it out, on the doors. It's like, no, just do something, man. One of the routines that I like to do is when I take a shower, I start off with a hot shower, then I finish off with an ice cold shower because I know that's going to wake my body up when it like knocks the air out of you. And to me, if I'm not awake before we get in the car, then I know I'm cheating myself. And so don't cheat yourself, guys. In this job, you're only hurting yourself by waking up 10 minutes before the meeting. You're only hurting your own bank account. If you want to take care of your family, your kids have things done, you're cheating all of them. Just get up. So if you can't get up on your own, I'm not really that guy, so I have to have an alarm. And so if you know yourself, don't lie to yourself. It's fine if you lie to other people, just don't do it to yourself. If you know you need an alarm, set an alarm. If you know it takes you an hour to wake up, set an alarm an hour and a half before, right? So you can hit snooze 10 times before you actually get up. But do something. Don't just get out of bed. I see it a lot on blitzes, and you can always tell who is going to have a rough day just by watching how people wake up before correlation.
100%. Yeah, I need like 2 hours, 2.5 from when I wake up before I can go hit doors. If I rush it or push it or don't do what I always do before, I basically just shouldn't have even gone. It's pointless. It's a waste of my energy. Compared to what I could have done if I would have done my preparation. 100%. And I have, Trey mentioned it. I have here like your morning ritual. It must include something, body, mind, spirit, and then ultimately business by the end. Like it has to have all these sectors where you're not fully woken up yet. Like if your body isn't woken up, or your mind, or you're right, you have to have all these components in your morning routine. And if you just do that, maybe that sounds silly to you, but wake up an extra hour early. There's no way you're not going to sell more doors if you start an hour earlier than you are right now, whether that's 5 minutes or 1 hour before the correlation. Start another hour earlier and just do shit. You will sell more doors. If you don't, come let me know. But I doubt I would hear from anyone because the more prepared you are before you go out, the more woke up you are, the more energy you got. I am perfectly shaved when I'm working the doors most of the time. I try to look kind of rough like I'm on the infrastructure, but I'm like, I got stuff cleaned up. Like your face is washed. I take a shower, I do a hot cold as well, Trey, every day before I go out. Because once you do that cold, you're like, let's go. I'm freaking on fire. Oh my God, I got fiber internet coming out of my brain, lady. Like just sign, you're lit, right? And you go out there with this contagious energy of excitement. And people are like, I don't even know what you have, but it's so freaking exciting sounding that I'm down. Like, let's do it. Like, whatever, this guy's cool. Like, holy shit, right? So, but if you're like, yeah, I got up like a little bit ago, and we're gonna get him like signed up, yeah, your face is all greasy and shit. They're just like, who the fuck is this guy? No way, But if you, the same guy, would have taken 20 minutes, taken a shower, clean your hair up a little bit, get the crust out of your eyes, and your voice is already like woken up for the day, and so you're very confident, they'll be like, dang, okay, let's do it. But how you present at the door, how you look, how you sound is all related to what did you do before you showed up there. And so you can turn the volume up on all of that and bring a lot more potency to every door by that morning routine ritual. It's got to have a component of physical, mental, spiritual, and then by the end you should be like preparing to do business, which to me means saying the first 3 lines of my pitch like 30, 40, 50, 60 times each before I even go to the door. So that by the time I go out there, it's just dropping out of my mouth, whether I'm even thinking or not. It just comes out perfectly, right? So that's what I got. Couple last little general things, mindset is like when I first heard of this back in 2023, fiber internet, my buddy invited me in. It's been like 2 years ago now. He was like, no, what are you doing? Like, I got a new job. It's like basically we walk around neighborhoods. There's like $100 bills laying all over the ground. And then we just go pick them up. Would you be down? That was how he presented the whole job to me. He didn't even tell me it was fiber internet or door to door. I was like, you're serious? There's like, you guys are getting paid to walk around and pick up money? He's like, yeah. He's like, we're actually selling fiber internet, but that's pretty much what it is. I'm making like way over $1,000 every single day, And I was like, really? He's like, oh yeah. So he showed me. And I was like, okay. So I went out. He shipped me out. I did 8 my first day. Couldn't remember the name of the company I was selling for. I had the price written on my hand and a pen. I didn't know anything about fiber internet. Never sold internet. All I did was excite and invite, and I did 8 and like 6 went in for my first day ever, right? So it's like you don't need to know a lot of details. You need to have the energy. When you have the energy that this is the shit, I know about it and you don't, but I'm gonna hook you up and bring you in. It happens to be an insane deal for you. I'm super excited about it, and I'm gonna invite you to get it done tomorrow when we're doing the neighborhood. That's all you really need to know about it. And you can go sell every door. The more you convolute it with all these details and prices and speeds, and they've already gotten the information. They're not buying it for the price and speed, even if they say they are. They're buying it because they like your vibe. 100%. It's the only reason they're buying it for you. Yes, the price and the speed helped convince them to do it, but they had the same price and same speed with the guy last week and they didn't buy it from him. So why? Because they didn't like his vibe. Period. Right? So all this is gonna increase your vibe. So I look at it like I'm walking around picking up $100 bills. This is an easy job. I love my job. No big deal. Obviously, the old phrase, make hay while the sun is shining. The sun is shining on the field you're standing in. If you're not making hay, you're going to be pissed as F later next year when you realize you could have made 1,000 bales of hay this year and you didn't. You sat around and smoked weed in the field and then it rained and there was no more hay to be made. Make the effing hay every single day today and stack those barrels in your barn and leave them there. And if you don't do it now, you're going to look at your empty barn next year and think, fuck, Trey owns barn. They built 3 extra barns. They're so damn full. And I just thought about it and I don't even have the 4 bales in here. I should have been out there 2 hours earlier every day and it would have made me an extra 75K this year. Fuck. Don't be that guy. Do it today. Get out there now. Stack the hay while the sun is shining. The sun's not going to shine forever. We know that 100% for sure. Carlos, 1 second here and we'll bring in The other way I look at this is like printing money from your mind, because all you do is talk, and then in like 2 weeks there's money in your bank account or whatever, right? So the better you get at being able to take whatever you know about fiber internet and all these skills in you and get it out of you to the customer in the right way, then you just look and suddenly there's money in the bank, right? You don't have to actually like lift stuff. You don't have to like saw something. You don't have to make a product and distribute it. You literally walk around and talk, and your bank account gets money. Okay, so you're printing money, you're printing wealth for your future out of your intelligence. So, and if you think that you can run your whole business on intelligence, but only get up 5 minutes before you physically have to go to the door, you're wrong. If you get your mind, your body, and your intelligence in harmony, in line, and all prepared with that routine, and then you go out there and you have all that force going to printing you wealth into your bank, the numbers are going to start stacking up way faster. All right, so what else we got? Lastly, what I'll leave you on is, and then in Carlos, if you got a question, I'll come to you here. You know, types of action. There's a lot of types of action. Some types of action are consistent action, doing the same thing over and over and over. Another type of action is massive action, just going out for a short period of time and doing a massive, like a blitz, right? There's directed action, like I'm going to knock from 11 to 3:30, and then I'm going to take a short break and then knock from 4:15 to dark. Or I'm going to knock, you know, this neighborhood at this part of the day, and I'm going to knock this neighborhood on Saturdays only, or whatever, right? There's directed action. And then there's timed action, you know, like I'm going to do it for this long, or I'm, you know, like this duration. And so, you know, we can go do a whole day on types of action and all this, but I just wanted to bring up, like, the way to get this done is to consistently have directed, timed, massive action, all of them at once, and then you're just kicking ass, okay? So if you're not doing any type of action, you're thinking about stuff, obviously that's not good, but, you know, the point of all this is to get in action, stay in action, have potent action, and that is going to result in massive returns. So, bottom line. Carlos, how can I help you, brother?
I don't think you can hear me now. Hey, man, I just want to add, so I know I just jumped on this call, but it's good. I just want to just chime in on that mindset type of a deal. You know, a lot of times, like I'm big on writing things down, right? So I see some of the guys that, you know, that we, you know, doing these businesses and we're working with, even though we keep it in, you know, in fashion, but there's something behind always writing it down and always having a game plan, which is big. Anytime I go work, you know, I've already planned it out. You know, what I'm going to do, you know, as far as the days that I'm out there is always not to come back on zero. So I'm always keeping track of each day and, you know, what happened on that day. So it kind of prepares me for the next day to stay on track. Because a lot of times, you know, you try to keep it in our head and then we can lose focus versus, you know, writing it down. So if you did go out and get a zero that day or whatever it was, it will push you the next day. And it's just something simple that I do. I'm big on writing everything down. A lot of times people are not keeping track of, you know, how the day is progressing or how the week is progressing. And then at the end of the week, you know, maybe you hit the numbers that you wanted to hit, but it's just an extra reinforcement. And it's kind of like the mindset and also having a routine. Me, I'm always on mastermind calls. It's kind of, you know, getting on this. I'm in a mastermind call at 7 in the morning, which gets my mind in tuned for the day on, you know, on what I'm going to do. And then the next part of the day is that, you know, I'm always doing push-ups and I kind of, you already hit it, kind of hitting that. And then the next part is always writing it down on, you know, what I'm going to do today as far as this week. And then I'm big on affirmations. Somebody said, you know, when in the shower, you know, kind of, you know, ready. All the time I'm in the shower, I'm always listening to an affirmation. I'm always big on the Ed Milet, if anybody knows what that is. They always have good affirmations on, you know, I'm going to be great today, or, you know, it's a reminder to where, you know, we have to take accountability. You know, and at the end of the day, you know, if at the end of the week, if you're broke, you know, you're broke. And it's kind of, and I listen to it every day. It's kind of just get out and, you know, make it happen. You went into it normal, you know, massive action. But a lot of times we just have to admit it to ourselves on, you know, how the day is going. You can't lie to yourself, or, you know, how your week is going. Just take accountability of it and just keep moving forward. Yeah, I'm real big on that as far as mindset, but that's about it. I want to chime in on that, man. Just a big thing I always tell people, hey, man, just keep track of your week, keep track of your day. There's power in actually writing something down so you can visually see it versus keeping it, you know, in our mind, or, you know, hey, I got my goals in my head versus actually putting it on paper and writing it down and then keeping track of it every single day. And, you know, if you had a shitty day, you know, the next day, hey, you got to be great. And that will catapult, you know, your week. And then at the end, you know, you'll hit your goal. And if you didn't hit it, you came close to it, but you know exactly week by week doing that. And that's one of my little secrets. I just want to chime in on that, brother.
Nice. Yeah, thank you, Carlos. Yeah, and that's like, this is kind of a nice little place to wrap it up on. And we've been on the call for a while, so let's get out of here. But, you know, writing it down 100%, and writing down how many doors did I knock today? How many doors did I talk to? How many doors were babysitters? And how many did I close? If you had a list at the end of the week of every day in these categories, it's going to be pretty obvious what you need to do for yourself. It's going to be pretty obvious if you need to knock more doors or you need to get better at closing the ones that you already knocked or whatever, right? And it's not going to be anything to wonder about. It's going to help you refine your action plan for next week. You know, part of my ritual that I do when I'm on the doors, when I'm on a blitz, is like when I'm having that beer, when I get back from the doors and I'm sitting around chilling for a minute and I'm still thinking about my neighborhood. The first thing I do is I go on to Sales Rabbit and I sit there and I figure out which house am I starting on tomorrow. If I'm driving, I'm figuring out where in this neighborhood exactly am I parking the car, like exactly based on satellite photo and what I saw today, and where am I going to start and what's my basic route going to be. I know that before I even go to bed. There's nothing to think about in the morning. No looking at anything, right? So like tomorrow's already done before I even ended today. Then I'm totally free to enjoy the night. I wake up, I do my whole routine, I go out, I look at my Sales Rabbit, I look at my notes. Oh yeah, I decided last night I'm going to start on 1537 West Elm today. Go right there and I do what I said and I start off and boom, I'm going to close them and keep moving. You know, so preparation, ounce of that prevents a pound of pain later. And the routine that we can make is going to directly determine the amount of sales we get closed, in my opinion. So, okay, guys, that's all I got. I appreciate you hanging so long, and hope you guys got something good out of this. And yeah, have fun out there this week. Let's get her done. Go in gratitude. Everybody's waiting on some better internet, so let's go get it to them. Really appreciate seeing y'all. We'll see you next week. Peace, everybody.